Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd just show you a speed build that I did a few days ago. I did this in the apartment in the Spice District, so it's not the apartment building that's just the two apartments, the long and skinny ones, it's the other building. I can't remember the exact name, but it's the building with 4 apartments in it in the Spice District, not 2. So this apartment, I kind of struggled a little bit with the floor plan. I won't lie, I went back and forth and tried a lot of different things. I had to cut out quite a lot of me changing the floor plan, moving it around, just because I couldn't decide. But in the end, I kind of went for something similar to what it was originally, but I just added a bathroom to the left of the kitchen, which you can already see here. I did do quite a lot of custom content because I just had a vision, and to execute that vision I needed the custom content, because sometimes the items we get in the game just aren't the best. Sometimes, I mean, they are, you get some very nice objects in the game, but just sometimes for a particular vision, it just doesn't fit. So I did use some custom content. So when I was building this apartment, this is in the make-believe world where I live by myself. Realistically, in the real world, I live with my boyfriend, but it was kind of like, well, my build, my rules, right? So I basically just made this how I'd like it, like my personal style. But maybe one day in the future, I could do a build where we do like a couple's apartment and I can incorporate both our styles. I think that would be really fun. But this build is literally just my own personal style. Originally, this build was only 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, but it had so much empty space. Like, the kitchen was quite big, the living room was quite big, and I thought I could just utilize the space a little bit better. So what I did is I just added that bathroom in the corner, and then I turned into what used to be the bathroom, I've turned that into a 2nd bedroom. So originally my idea was to have it as a 2nd bedroom, but you'll see a bit later on, I try and fit an office in somewhere, but I end up moving the office into what would be the 2nd bedroom, because I realised, I was like, you know what, if I'm just living by myself, I can have an office, like, why not? I'm going to treat myself to an office. So I gave myself a full-on office. I put in platforms here as well because, platforms are still quite new to the game. Like, I'm still enjoying playing around with them a lot. So, and I wanted to give the apartment a few different levels and things, make it feel a bit more interesting. And just, you'll see a bit later on, like, I add a lot of like little details in just to give it its overall look. So I'm just going through like the coffee tables and things. I'm very indecisive about a lot of things. But I had to cut out so much footage of this build where I'm literally just going through the catalogue for about probably like 5-10 minutes, just going through like the swatches of literally every single bit of furniture because I could not make up my mind. So I kind of wanted a darker theme for this apartment. So you can see I've gone for like the darker green couches. Later on, I try and give it a bit of like a lofty feel by adding some brick and things and beams and columns. Oh yes, and I did actually, so here you can see I'm putting in a washing machine in my kitchen because I do live in Britain, so that's just like a common thing that we have, and I wanted to sort of like cover it up with a fake counter to sort of match the other ones, to look like it's built in, but it just wasn't working. It was either clipping or it sat on top funny, so I ended up getting rid of it and it's just there. But it's fine because I think in the game you can actually stack things like on top of the washing machine, so it's not the end of the world. So you can see here I'm trying to squeeze a little office into this little nook. Here I've given myself a half wall I thought that would be good to put some half walls in there as well to give it something a bit more interesting. I really liked the original office in this corner. I did make it really, really nice and cozy. You can see in a minute I'll go in and like put some details and stuff in, but I did actually end up moving it. But I think if I was to go back and play in this apartment with a different family, and they had a child or something, or like a roommate, I think I'd definitely like move the office back to where it originally was, because I just think it was like a really cozy little corner that I put it in. That's a CC painting as well. I really love that. It's so cute. Would definitely have that in real life. And here I am just putting in some more details. So I've got a little shelf with my books and my little ornaments and my incense. Putting in a little fluffy rug. While I'm just adding in some details on the office, I just want to tell you guys like a little story about what's been happening to me over the last week. So I basically had like a nightmare with editing my content. I had a whole like first part of a Let's Play ready and filmed to put up, but when I got to the editing process, it all fell apart, guys. It all fell apart. So I wanted to do a paranormal Let's Play when the pack came out. Obviously it's been a while since then now, so I'm not sure if I still want to release it, but basically when I got to the editing, the original footage was like maybe an hour and 20 minutes long. To be fair, I really should have given myself a time limit on how long I'd record for, because that was a lot of footage to go through. And when I got to editing, I was making so many cuts and just, you know, doing the most and trying to get it down as much as I could because it was so long. And my computer literally just couldn't handle it. It got to a point where I'd put so many cuts and like so many effects and stuff. Every time I tried to press a button or do anything, like even just click to, I don't know, change from doing the razor tool to like just go back to the arrow tool, my computer would just stop, like Premiere Pro would just stop responding and it would just close. So that was fun. I got about halfway with my editing until that started happening. So I've got like half of a Let's Play that's edited, but the other half is like incomplete. So that's been fun. Oh my god, can you hear that? Someone outside is like making loads of noise, like really inconvenient. Thanks, neighbours. But yeah, so my Let's Play is probably not going to be out, and I'm kind of really gutted about it because I was really proud. Like, I was really proud of how it turned out. I thought it was a really good idea, but then it all just went downhill when I got to editing. So that kind of sucks. But hopefully, maybe one day I'll release it. It'll be a bit late, but hopefully my computer will be nice to me at some point and I can get that out. But yeah, I thought, you know, just instead, because I haven't managed to get that out, I thought let's just do, you know, a couple of speed builds, get those out so there's something up there. And I really enjoy building and like decorating anyway, so it's not too bad, you know? Of course I had to get a Grogu in there. I actually have one in real life. He sits on top of my bedside table and he just chills. So I thought I'm gonna put a Grogu in there because this is my apartment and it's what I want. I do add quite a lot of plants as well in this apartment. Obviously, this is fake, this is The Sims, but real life, I would be absolutely rubbish at taking care of plants, but we like to pretend, so I'm pretending like I'm really good at taking care of plants, and they're everywhere in my apartment. So yeah, I'm just going back and like doing a little bit more detailing on the kitchen, putting a little nook in the corner, just so you can like throw your keys and your letters and whatever once you get home. I thought that was, you know, kind of adding a sense of realism there. I definitely much prefer furnishing apartments in The Sims rather than building houses. I think that's why I tend to sort of lean towards the apartments so much, because you don't really have to do a lot in terms of the actual structure. You just have to put a floor plan in most of the time, and then you can add like, you know, your platforms if you want platforms and stuff like that. I just find roofing hard. Like, it stresses me out. I'm sure I'll get better eventually, but I just really struggle with roofs. Oh yeah, so I tried to put a bar in my build. I really like this cabinet from the paranormal pack, so I tried to add that in. I took some juice bottles from Debug, put those in the cabinet, but I really struggled to like make it work. It just wasn't going well, really. For some reason, I really wanted a bar in my build. Like, you can see, I try and make it work so hard, but I'm not even that big of a drinker, so I don't really know why I did that. I thought it would just be a nice touch, I suppose, but realistically, if I actually lived in this apartment, I probably wouldn't have a bar. I think I actually changed that out. Yeah, I changed that out for the university cabinet with the plates and things. I really like this bit of furniture as well. Like, I think those two cabinets are probably my favourite cabinets in the game. I just really like the way that they look. I think it's the glass for me with the university cabinet. It's that like black detailing on the glass. I think that's really, really nice. Yeah, see, I'm trying to like put a wine rack in. It's like, Chloe, you don't even drink that much. Like, what are you doing? But I was determined. I was really determined. I do get rid of it eventually, I think, because I think I decided that it just wasn't working. And yeah, I added like a little half wall. I think I add another half wall on the other side later on that you'll see. I think this build has a little bit of a industrial vibe as well. So with that shelf that I used before, the one that came with Eco Lifestyle, I believe. Yes, Eco Lifestyle. It's got that sort of metal framing on it, and I just think that's a really nice touch, just to give the apartment a little bit more of something different, you know? I tried to find a poof to put on the floor or something, just because I've only got those two smaller sofas, like the two love seats, so I ended up going for these floor pillows. I just thought it added to the cozy vibe, you know? I just thought it looked really, really nice. So I also wanted to put a stuffed animal on the sofa because I thought it's just a bit more interesting than a pillow. So the crocodile didn't fit, it wouldn't raise up correctly, it was either floating or like in the sofa, so I actually went for that teddy bear instead. That is from the Tiny Twavelers, yes, Twavelers, not Travellers, stuff pack, CC stuff pack from Felix, Andre and Harry, I believe. It's a really good pack. The wallpapers as well, I'm pretty sure this wallpaper is from that pack too. Yeah, they are. So again, I'm going through all these wallpapers. Like, I think I wanted to have some sort of feature wall on that part of the living room, but I couldn't decide whether I wanted it to be, you know, like a bold pattern or just like a block colour. I thought I wanted this paranormal one because it wasn't too bad, but in the end I do change it, and you'll see what I change it to a bit later. Of course, in the kitchen I'm putting a kettle because I'm British, we love our tea. I did originally go for the smaller one, and then I thought, you know what, realistically it would have to be a big kettle because I drink a lot of tea and coffee throughout the day. So a smaller one just wouldn't cut it, I'm afraid. So these shelves, I really was excited to do these shelves because I was basing this off, I don't know if anyone else has seen, I see a lot of pictures of this kind of thing on my Instagram Explore page because I like a lot of, you know, interior pictures and things, so it always comes up for me. But people do their kitchen shelves in this really interesting way where they display like their best plates, their best cups, and sort of a few things on the shelf, a couple of decorative bits, maybe a plant or some pictures, and they look really, really nice. It's like a nice little decorative part of your kitchen. Realistically though, I don't think that would work. I think you'd have to do a lot of dusting every week, and I just know it would get cluttered so quickly. But I like to pretend, so we've tried to put it in this build, and it just gives the kitchen a little bit more of something else, you know, not just those standard cabinets all along one side. Oh, the little cat, I love that little cat planter, I think it's so cute. So I wanted to put something like pots or pans above the island. I do change it though, I do get rid of them. It's a good idea in theory, but I just wanted it to be a bit more decorative. It just wasn't feeling very decorative to me in the kitchen. So you can see in a moment I go and grab this hanging plant. Yeah, this one. I love this plant. Again, realistically, I don't think I'd be able to maintain it though, because I think it's very easy for that to look very gross very quickly if you forget to water it, you know, for like a week. Imagine like all these brown like leaves, it just wouldn't look great. But here I am putting in the columns. I thought it would just give the apartment a bit more of a lofty vibe, so you've got that beam going across. I think if I was to do this again, maybe I'd put another beam in somewhere. I'm not sure where though. I don't know if I'd put it in the living room or maybe even in the kitchen, but I just really like it. I just thought it just added something really interesting to the build. And yeah, the curtains as well. I thought that'd be a really good idea to put the curtains in, because then you could kind of close off the living room area and make it really cozy and really, really nice, you know. And say if you did have someone else living here and you wanted to turn the office into a second bedroom, then you could kind of divide those two areas so you can have a bit more privacy, I suppose. Here I am just adding a few extra details to the office, so adding like a cozy little chair, a lamp. Later on, I don't know if I do it now, but I do add shelving and things. I don't know what it is, but I wasn't totally happy with how the office turned out. I don't know, I just think there's just something missing. I'm not sure what it was, but at the end, I don't know, I wasn't 100% pleased with it, but I'm not really sure what else I could have done, to be honest. But it's just one of those things, you know, sometimes you're just not happy with what you do. It's all trial and error, isn't it? I think these CC paintings are really cool. I really like the idea of just having like some paintings that need to be hung up but haven't quite been done yet. I just think it adds a little bit of like character to the place. And yep, I'm putting in that shelf from Paranormal. I did also add some more shelves in the hallway, like near the kitchen, just because I thought it's a fairly small apartment. You're gonna want a lot of storage options. The bathroom isn't that big, so, you know, if you need to add anything, you can always have this little shelving unit out in the hallway to keep your bits and bobs. You can also see I've put a no shoes indoor sign above the door. I will admit that is like one of my pet peeves, is when I see, especially in TV and movies for some reason, they always have their shoes on indoors, and like even on the sofa and on the bed, and it just doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't. I cannot wear shoes in the house. I've got my slippers on, I've got my socks on, you know, like I just can't do it, because I just think like if you're putting your shoes on your bed and then you have to go to sleep in that, it's just not great, is it? Not great. So prior warning to anyone, when I eventually do get my own place, we are having no shoes. They are to be off at the door. I wanted to do my kitchen a little bit. I started thinking about Dakota Johnson's Green Kitchen, you know, as you do. Like, I think about it on a daily basis, but I thought the darker green was a little bit too matchy with the sofas, so I just ended up going for like a bit more of a muted bluey green colour, but I think it still looks nice. And now we start working on the bathroom. So I did use a CC shower. So this shower is based off, I think they got the mesh from the Parenthood pack shower. I hate that shower. It's like, it had such good potential, but just the swatches are, I just hate them. I don't use the word hate lightly. I do, because all the swatches, there's no neutrals, there's no just plain black or plain white. The only like neutral colour that they give you for that one, it's got like a sort of minty greenish bluish curtain, and it just doesn't like, I feel like everything that they give to us in these packs, there needs to be like a black or a white swatch. That just needs to be like the standard. And then maybe like a couple of woods. Like, I think I was saying on stream the other day, I was saying, you know, I think from the start they should have had every item comes in these, you know, 6 basic colours. So you could have one white, one black, one dark wood, one sort of medium coloured wood, one like light beigey wood, you know? So that just covers everything. And they should have done that for all the objects from the beginning. Just have those like, you know, standards that everything comes with, and then you can add in those extra, you know, swatches if you want like a colourful version or something with a pattern. I know that's probably quite hard to do. I don't make games. I'm not, you know, well versed in what goes on behind the scenes, so I imagine it would be a lot of work, but I don't know, sometimes it's just something I think about and I'm like, oh, it's a shame they didn't, because it would be really helpful for builds. So now we're doing the bedroom. So I kind of struggled with the bedroom as well, I won't lie, because I think it's just the shape. I think it's not a bad shape for sure, but I just think it's just that little bit too long. If I could have made it wider, that would have been better, I think, but obviously the space that I'm given, I had to fit in a living room as well, so and you know, obviously I cut out all of that stuff at the beginning of me just going back and forth changing the floor plan, so you didn't see that, but trust me, like I tried literally every single different variation of a room plan and floor plan. So this is kind of like the best I could get with the shape of this room. It's not the worst, but yeah, I think if I was to do this again, I don't think I'd use a 4-poster bed, because you'll see in a moment, I try and put some pictures on the wall and it doesn't go well, because I think it's the 4-poster that throws me off, because I never know whether to put a picture above the bed like within the 4 posters. You'll kind of understand what I mean in a moment, or to just leave it off to the side. But I think I wouldn't use a 4-poster bed next time. I think ideally, like it sounds like a nice idea to have a 4-poster bed, but I don't think that I just think it would be really hard to maintain. Like it'd probably get dusty, you know, the curtains, you'd probably have to wash the curtains and stuff. It just seems like a lot of aggravation. But yeah, here I go. Like I don't know if to put it in the middle like that or off to the side. I did put them off to the side in the end, but then I just feel like there's that empty space above the bed and it really bothers me. But I just couldn't find a way around it. It just looked bad. So I've gone with that. I think, yeah, I tried to sort of like do something with a feature wall just to give it something else as well. I went for a block colour in the end, I think. Just that darker sort of burgundy colour. Because I think it matched the pictures a little bit. It sort of tied in with the pictures. So you'll see me putting up some shelves in a moment, I think. At first I went for like a corner shelf type thing. Or yeah, I tried a few different things. I wanted to maybe put a fireplace in there, but I think the room just wasn't the right size. I think it would have to be bigger to have like a fake fireplace in there. So yeah, here I go. So I went for some corner shelves. I don't really know what my thinking was behind this, I'll be honest with you. But, you know, again, we have to trial and error to see what works and what doesn't work. But I think, yeah, I just went for like the normal shelves and just tried to make like a cute little shelving unit with a few little bits on there. You've got my lamp. Also, I had a nightmare with something on the shelf that you'll see in a moment. So this rabbit that I'm putting right now, I sized that down quite a lot because it's normally quite a big object. I sized it down so it'd fit on the shelf. And then I just don't think my game could handle that. I think there was too much going on in the build, because then once I'd placed it, every time I tried to move it, my game would freeze. And I panicked so much because I didn't know when the last time was that I saved the game. I was like, no, I've gotten this far and I'm gonna lose everything. It can't freeze like this, it can't freeze. So I quickly like panicked. I quickly saved the game, and luckily it was fine, but I swiftly removed the rabbit after that. I decided that I was not going to include that in my build because I can't have that stress in my life. And what I'm doing now, I'm just replacing some of these spotlights that I just put in the build originally, just switching them out for some nicer lights. And then I think once I've done this, I think I add a shelf. Yeah, here we go. So I add a shelf, and then I do put a few little decorative bits and pieces on there as well. I remember, yes, we've got the cactus, and I'm pretty sure I also put a little snow globe on there as well. I did have to type in the cheat show hidden objects to get these, because they won't come up in your normal catalogue. You do have to put cheat in for those. So of course I needed a games console, because how am I going to play my games? I suppose I could do it on the computer, but we're going to pretend like Sim Chloe has a PS5. And here I go, being undecisive again, but eventually I did just go for the brick, because I just liked the way it gave the apartment that sort of lofty vibe. I just really like that whole sort of atmosphere. It just makes it more cozy to me. And then we're trying to put some different wallpaper in the office as well. I definitely tried a few. And then in the end, I went for this one, this eco lifestyle. It's not actually a wallpaper. I think it's meant to be like a cement wall with like a bit of paint around the bottom. But I thought it kind of tied in with the pictures. I thought they sort of had, there's a bit of blue in the pictures, there's a bit of blue in the wallpaper. So I added a bit more blue into the office. I changed the chair, made the chair blue. Then I would just put those little lights above the door. I don't usually use like those sconce lights, but I just felt like it needed it. And then to finish off, we're putting some string lights just to give it that cozy vibe. But that's pretty much the build. I'm going to add some screenshots in at the end so you can see what it turned out like. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to come and check me out on Twitch, I stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. It will be linked in my bio, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!